welcome back to my channel, Gabby on Paper. In my last video, I talked about the 10 things I plan on doing when I get a job. And today I'm going to be going into one of the specifics, the sinking funds. So let's get started. All right, so these are the 11 sinking funds that I want to get started. I'm sure more will come up as I think of things and spend more time looking at my finances and what, goes on throughout the year. But these are the ones that I want to start with for now, at least. And from those, there are going to be some that are more of a priority than others. So to start, I want to have a travel sinking fund. Obviously, it's pretty straightforward. It's to book trips so I don't feel, like I've blown my budget by purchasing a plane ticket or booking a hotel or something. And I do love to travel, so I'm going to have a hefty travel fund. In my travel fund, I want to have $5,000. I know that's a lot of money, and even after I hit the $5,000, I will be adding to it even more. As I use it, I'll replenish it. But I just want to make sure that that I can travel whenever I want and I won't have to stress about it. Next is a dog. My boyfriend and I currently do not have any pets, but we would like to eventually adopt a dog. Obviously we would split all the expenses because that is how we handle things. So to start, I would like to have $1,500 in a dog sinking fund. We're not looking to do this right now because we are enjoying the freedom of being able to come and go as we please, but it's something we want to work towards. And then these two don't have specific dates as to when they need to be done by, so I'm gonna leave this column blank for them. Obviously the sooner the better, but there's no specific date. Next on my list is birthdays, and I want to have $1,100. Again, this is one that is not a super big priority because until I get the $1,100 in my birthday sinking fund, I'll just be cash flowing everything. And I know this is important to have because birthday presents can, affect your budget depending on what you end up doing, but it's not a priority for me compared to some of the other ones, the other sinking funds that are. And this $1,100 does cover everything. It's for 10 people, including my boyfriend, my dad, my sister, friend, my nephews, and then some of my boyfriend's family, so all of that would be included in here. Next is Christmas. I would like $1,750 in it. Again, this is Christmas presents for everyone, wrapping paper, and like the food for Christmas, any Christmas activities, it's all included in here. I really love Christmas and I like to go hard, so I want to make sure that I am funded for that. And right now it is April. Let's say I don't get a paycheck till May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 8 months. So $1,750 divided by 8. So I'll be contributing about $220 per month to get this funded, and I think that's doable, but we'll see. And I know I should probably have the money before Christmas, but I think it'll be fine, with the $1,500 I would have, by November to buy all the presents, and then December's contribution would just go for the expenses like food or whatever that I buy that month. Alrighty, the next one is renter's insurance. This is something that we pay we've decided to pay this once a year. It's $150, and it would be in January. So if this is 8, January would be 9 months, and I'm just trying to do it so I don't forget, you know, because it's something that would be easy to forget, and I want to make sure I'm prepared so again I don't blow my budget. Next is haircuts. So I'm gonna say $200, and I don't have a deadline for this one. And the reason I'm saying $200 is because I'm hoping to have at all times enough money for the haircut that I'm about to get and then the next one while I contribute. I'm not sure if $200 will cut it. Once I get a haircut, I'll have a better idea of how much I'm expecting to pay, and then I will, you know, adjust that number as needed. I'm hoping it's not more than $200 for 2 haircuts, so $100 per haircut, but we shall see. Next is my MacBook. When I get a new computer, I did mention this in the last video. When would I want this by? Typically, Apple releases are in the spring, summer, and fall. Assuming nothing comes out in the summer, I'd want it by September is when they normally announce. So let's see. So it would be May, June, July, August, September. 5 months. Well, I guess I don't need a calculator for that. So that would be $200 a month that I would have to save for my MacBook. And then for this, I know $1,000 is not a lot, but I did mention this in my last video. For my birthday, from everyone, I got some gift cards to Apple, and then I saved the rest of my spending money from my trip earlier in the year. And between all of that, I have $1,000. So I want to save another $1,000 for the rest of the computer if I want to upgrade like the storage, maybe get Apple Care or something. So I think another $1,000 for $2,000 in total will do it, will be sufficient. All right, so this was one of the items that I mentioned in my last video, just like the MacBook, the haircuts. There's been a few, but this 1 month ahead is I want to get 1 month ahead on income rather than expenses, and that way for example, any April income I would save and use for May's budget, so that in May I know exactly how much I can, you know, attribute to each sinking fund or each goal or whatever. I'm thinking I'll probably make about $3,000 a month. I don't know. So that's what I'm putting for now. This does not have a timeline, but I would like to get this done as soon as possible so I can start budgeting like that, like with last month's income. The good thing about getting 1 month ahead is that it just means extra savings. So if something were to happen with the job that I will eventually get, because I don't have one now, but if something were to happen, I would have an extra month's worth of income ready to go. Next is my out-of-pocket for like insurance, and I'm basing this on what my out-of-pocket was for my last insurance company with my last job, but I'm using this number to kind of get started and start planning. I don't have a date as to when I want to get that done by. You know, at some point it would be good to have that money, and if my job does offer an HSA option, obviously I would use that, and rather than saving it myself, if that makes sense. But I think it's important that if a big medical emergency were to happen, I would have that money to pay for those bills rather than stress myself out even more. Next is furniture, and I'm hoping for $1,000 in here. I kind of want this sooner rather than later. I am thinking by, I'm gonna say by September as well. What we want to buy is a rug for a living room to kind of define the space, and then a chair. Right now we only have like a 3-seat sofa, and it's just not enough if we were to have someone over or we have like a visitor from out of state. It's really awkward to sit 3 people in a sofa. So we would love to have like an additional seating situation to make things a little more comfortable for everyone. And we're thinking a chair. And chairs are expensive. The ones that I've been looking at are like over $1,000, like $1,000 to $2,000. Obviously this is something that my boyfriend and I would split once we do buy, but I want to start saving so that when he agrees we can you know, just pull the trigger. And then finally, miscellaneous, I am hoping for $500. Again, this does not have a date. And what miscellaneous is just something that to cover the expenses that I haven't thought of. So I can't think of any right now. I feel like I have everything covered, but that's exactly why this would come in handy. It's to cover just one-off things that haven't come to mind, that I don't normally know or think of until, you know, it comes up. And so I would be prepared to cover something if it were to come up, and that's what miscellaneous is for. I think most of the categories are covered, so I don't need a ton of money. So I feel like $500 would be sufficient for that. The total that I want to save in my sinking funds is, let's see. So we have 5,000 plus 1,500 plus 1,100 plus 1,750 plus 150, 200, 1,000, 3,000, 3,000, 1,000. Oh God, 500. All right. So that's 18,200. I'm gonna do that math again just in case. Yep. $18,200 is the amount that I'm looking for in my sinking funds. That's a ton of money. All right, so next I'm gonna go over kind of like what my priorities are. See, I think I will do this in purple. The ones that are my priority, I will highlight. Let's see, travel, Christmas, MacBook, one month ahead, and I think furniture. And then the total for this, I will just make a quick note here. $5,000 plus 1,750 plus 1,000 plus 3,000 plus 1,000. So that's $11,750. I'm gonna go ahead and check that. Yep, that number is correct. $11,750. I don't know how doable it'll be to get all this done this year, because I do want to, like I said, contribute to my Roth, do a little bit of crypto investing, and then eventually get started in like non-retirement investing. I might have to redo some of these. I mentioned in my last video, I have had a number of interviews. I'm hoping one of two like works out and I end up with an offer. And if I do, I'll have some money left over after my emergency fund that I can put towards this. And it could be like a decent chunk, a few $1,000s, maybe like $2,000 or $3,000. And I'm not sure if I'm going to want to distribute it between all of these, or if I want to just put it all towards my travel fund and then the remaining work on the rest of these just each month. I'm really not sure what my strategy will be. I guess I'll figure that out once I actually do get a job. But yeah, so anyway, so these sinking funds though are separate from my emergency fund. I have my emergency fund already in place, and I'll go over that in a different video about how much money I had saved when I quit my job, and how much money I spent in these 5-ish months that I haven't worked, and finally how much my emergency fund will be. All right, well, thanks so much for watching, and if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Bye.